Welcome back, everybody, to the grand finals of the Gears Challenger Series. This is Split 2, Phase 1, Week 1. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze. We got two teams that are about to battle it out. You got one squad that we think is fairly new, but they've all been around a time or two when it comes to Gears. And another team that may have one new addition. Instead of Solar, they've got Manikk, but they're still performing just as good as if they never made a change, right? So you got two different contrasting styles, two different, I think, levels, if you will. You mentioned levels many times, Blaze, but who's going to make it as the number one spot? We'll definitely find out, man.
We're definitely going to find out indeed. We got two great teams here that's about to be playing off for the finals. The one team that we saw in both semifinals, or the one team that we saw so far in either of our semifinals that I feel like is the most polished is going to be RR. Now, RR was your prediction to come out on top and win, Taylor, but I think that driven by fear with their experience, they can make the adjustments that they need to round by round to counter what RR is throwing at them. I think that's going to be their win condition tonight.
Hey, look, and they absolutely could, right? I mean, they've been playing very well. Let's not forget they beat ALRM just earlier, right? That's a very talented roster. I don't know if it's the same roster that was competing in a last chance qualifier, but that's Rocky, Morality, Abolix, Lanarchy. Like that's a roster that we totally thought they would make it into the Pro League, right? But from what I'm hearing, they didn't have Lanarchy in this situation. But regardless, though, still, you mentioned those other three, very, very talented overall. So to beat them speaks volumes about them because that other team, they had great teamwork. So maybe you're right. Maybe they do take grand finals. But that's the thing about these tournaments. Nothing is guaranteed, and whoever wants it more will take the victory in the end.
No, they definitely will take the victory in the end. And this is going to be also good for DBF to get some extra points, right? Change up the seeding a little bit when it comes down to the Challenger Series and make sure that you get yourself a good bracket to the semifinals. Hell, depending on how high of a seed in which they can get there in the Challenger Series, we may see them every week in the semifinals, But, we won't look that far ahead in the future. But regardless, this is an important tournament here to make sure that you are getting the points in which you need. So when it's time to relegate one of those Pro League teams, you'll be right there in the mix.
And again, this is week one, right? This is the week to put your right step forward or best foot forward, I should say. So you can obviously end up ahead. Let's look at our pick and ban, see the maps we're rolling with. If we have some repeats from earlier, District, that's one we haven't seen tonight. So that'll be a lot of fun. Exhibit as well. And then Training Grounds for the tiebreaker. Training Grounds, we know what to expect from both rosters, but District and Exhibit, something fresh.
Yeah, something fresh here indeed. This is going to be nice to kick this one off. When it comes down to Exhibit, boy, RR say we want to fight. Okay, we don't care about the rotations, the teamwork that you got. We want to get in your face. We want to win these shotgun battles, and we want to win this Challenger Series tournament tonight. So, but on the flip end, DBF, man, they're going to pick District. This is where we get the chance to see their teamwork shine. But also, District is a map in which these teams know how to play. They understand the rotations, the points of interest. So, and also that's going to be a map too, where if you lose a team fight, you're going to be in a dire spot there, possibility of getting trip cap dominated early on. So you got to make sure that you stay alive on that map and push out lanes when you need to stop those trip cap dominations your opponent's going to be throwing your way.
What I really like about this map rotation is, DBF choosing District. I think that favors them well. Let's not forget their earlier matchup when they played on Training Grounds versus Papa Chalky Milk, right? Big 2% there. They were able to beat them on Training Grounds. That was a big win. But Training Grounds is spread apart. You have your close team fights. We'll have that in District. But for the most part, it allows you to prioritize rotations, prioritize the objective. You mentioned how critical it is. If you lose a fight, you could be in dire straits. But Exhibit, on the other, if the shoe's on the other foot, it does benefit RR because you've got members like Nero and Rapidz, the deadly duo, who's going to be able to get in those close quarter fights and take out the other members, right? Yeah. So on one end, you have a map District that should absolutely benefit their map choice, which is DBF. And then on the other end, you have Exhibit, which should benefit RR. And then you have Training Grounds, which is kind of going to be a bit of a neutral fight between the two. Both of them have won Training Grounds tonight. One a bit closer than the other, but they both won. So this could absolutely be a close series, brother. And you mentioned it's probably going to go to game 3 most likely. So, hey, you might be right.
I hope we do get a chance to go to Training Grounds. These are two great teams. And I want to see who is going to be the better Training Ground squad. But if not, That means that we got a hot 2-0 early on.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see who that's going to be. District, woo, that's going to be map number 1 there. And so when it comes down to district, we usually see a big fight at cinema there in the first half of the game.
Right.
And so that cinema fight is going to, tell a big tale. But if you want to put all your numbers on that side of the map and leave the bottom lanes open and not have a guy in that 1v1 fight, well, you might put your team in a bad spot there, or you just won't be getting those trip cap dominations early on. That home hill to get captured up. But regardless of whatever these teams are going to throw, it's a plethora of different strategies and different initials in which they can come out with, and we'll see what they do.
I'm curious if, Double R, they get in some trouble, because the map is kind of spread out. They know at that point in time, Driven by Fear are going to be, pretty well versed, I think, because they like the long game. That, after all, they were kind of losing the initials by Chalky earlier. So they were capitalizing, though, in that mid to late game. That's kind of where the strategy really started to come forth when they figured out what the team was up to, counting the numbers. Double R, they can really bank on the fact that, like you mentioned, that cinema fight or even a bandstand fight, you place down a drop shot, you place down a torque bow, that big fight where they have to go head to head. That's where Double R has kind of an ace in the hole, if you will, because I feel like that fight is going to benefit them tremendously. So they have a backup plan, but will the original plan work? That's the biggest question I have, and I'm not so certain it will. I'm not so certain that standard initial, that standard beginning game is going to go so well for Double R. I really have to benefit Driven by Fear in that case.
But if it doesn't work out, like you said, they got that trump card. You put a big power weapon down low towards bandstand. You get some of those earlier rounds. Right there, it's the closest in which home hills can be on that map. Down low from A to C. So, some things can work out for you. And that close quarters fight in bandstand is going to be a lot different than a little bit than a fight that has a little bit more spread out there when it comes up top towards cinema. Definitely for a more aggressive team, that is the audible in which you want to do if you cannot win the initial. But going behind in a weapon placement, there's ways to counter that. It depends on how you're going to build early on. So if Double R is going to be respecting the team fire of DBF and they've planned ahead of it, you may start to see them build up that lower secondary in hopes of putting something down low and bandstand if they need to, and they'll have that utility to work with as well.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting, too, if we see one team play something up top, the other one places something on bottom to maybe, prioritize building that low fight. They might have an advantage, a leg up, if you will, at least for that one round where it's placed down low. I don't know. A lot of things to happen. Chat, let us know you're smarter than us. Who's taking the victory here? I'm still going with Double R. I think overall their teamwork plays very well. Again, they have a Nero, and Nero stands out from the rest. He pops off and plays so very well. I say that Manikk played very well in his own right on training grounds. Like, Manikk played really, really well. But you also have Nero. Now, my question is, Blaze, who is the Nero for Driven by Fear?
The Nero for Driven by Fear has to be Azuries in my book. When it comes down to Azuries teammates, Noxus, Zenun, and Crushmo could even go to that level and be a Nero as well. But Crushmo, he can slay out. But when it comes down to the movement, the power weapon usage, and all of that, that whole entire package, I'm going to say Azuries will have to go toe-to-toe with him to really shut him down if they need be. But, DBF, they're going to love playing against an aggressive player like that. Now, it wasn't like they were running these 3-man rushes and Nero was at the tip of the spear going into those fights. But when he is in that mix, DBF, they'll just set a trap for him, put a mark over his head, cross him out, and try to play off his aggressiveness right there. That's going to be the first strategy in which they have. Use that teamwork to win those rounds. But if they have to play man on man and Nero's just absolutely going off and somebody has to rise to the occasion, they got a few options. I think it's Azuries.
I honestly, I agree. Azuries played so well. Even put the hammer burst in his hands, right? Much like on Foundation in that first series when they played against Chaco, like he was so well versed with any power weapon, with any weapon in general that he had. He plays a key factor in taking down any team that he plays against. So, hey, let's see if they do isolate Nero. I do like the fact that you pointed out if RR does tend to get aggressive, that's kind of where, DBF is going to feel at home. They're going to be able to strategize in and effectively counter that. That's something that I felt they did so very well against Papa Chalky Milk, given the fact that they were such an aggressive team in your face. They love to just constantly push a fight nonstop, which worked off the initials fairly well. And it worked at the beginning when they kind of caught DBF off guard. But once DBF kind of got accustomed to that and understood, like, okay, here's your key players. These are the lanes you like to push. You want to be aggressive, that's fine. We'll back off. We'll take our advantages, Lancer out, use that to our advantage, and then take you down one by one. And that's something they capitalized on. That's something Double R kind of did as well if you look at their fight versus Immortals, but they're not going to have that luxury versus DBF. So they're going to have to be forced to play it a little bit slower. They can't just fall back on the aggressive game.
Nah, they can't fall back on that aggressive game whatsoever. DBF will be ready for it. Now, on the flip end, I'm curious to see when RR's back's against the wall, right? And they have to slow it down, how they're gonna play it. Because some teams we know can be really aggressive out there, but when they're getting beat, it's hard for them to find an answer at a slower pace version of the game. When their opponent is forcing them to kind of play into their hand, then they have to say, okay, well, what lanes are we gonna find our fights in? Where do we want to stack up at? How do we go out here and make these plays? And for the most part, it was Nero who was winning big 1v1s, and he was the answer that we saw for RR to have on Asylum when it did slow down. But I'm pretty sure DBF is watching that series. Asylum isn't in this map series, okay? And that's probably a big reason why. But for the 3 maps in which we do have Exhibit, Nero will be easy to pick them off on. But here on District, he's gonna have to win some big 1v1s probably.
Ooh, noxious. Bit of an awkward fight, but job well done. Takes down Toxiq, takes down Nero. A great start for DBF, who now have the neutral and their home hill. The battle for mid is underway. Manikk lancered out, no worries at all. And now you got DBF. They're pressured up. RR trying to hold their own. Rapidz looking to push back member after member from DBF. Not going to happen. Shut down. Toxiq, next one to fall. Nero in trouble, but takes down one. Big fight versus Zenun. Nero clutches up, keeps the team alive, but still not out of the woods just yet. There's Azuries they have to worry about. He's backing up. But again, Nero, that playmaker, keeps Double R in the game.
Oh, that was a huge play for him. Noxious had that shot lined up to lock that round in for his team, but Nero with some great movement, he clutched up there, and he's going to get a big kill here in Info. Going to back down, knows exactly where his opponent is, but more importantly, he knows that his team has a man advantage. So he's going to let his teammates work, capture the B hill, lock in other important hills as he's still clutching up in big 1v1s, taking out Zenun. Quick back A on Azuries. All over Noxious. 6 kills in round number 1.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Everybody needs a little bit Nero, right, on their team. And he is the reason why that round goes to the favor of Double R. He doesn't pop off. Hey, bottom line period, Double R doesn't win that round.
You know, and sometimes I know Noxious is just like, man, if I get that 1 kill, none of that happens, right? Sometimes the clutch starts with you, and it sucks to be on that side of it all. But Nero just made a statement here in round number 1. Like, all right, it ain't going to be easy. You guys got to get through me if you want to win this Challengers series, because this is going to be DVS first time to the finals, and RR has been here before.
That's right. They absolutely have. Well, let's see how this works out now in round number 2. That initial, once again, was phenomenal from DBF. They couldn't have got any better outside of, taking down Nero. But let's see if they can replicate that success. The mid battle did not go well for Double R before. Manikk was the last one standing, and he ended up dropping. And, well, it's going to be much the same here. Rapidz now to 1v2, easily lancered out. So it's looking like much the same in round number 1 here in round number 2. Toxiq backing up, trying to hold off 2 members. And Nero, he's going to be on the other side. But he is winning his fights. He takes down Noxious, but what is he going to do? He has to pressure Azuries. He's got to get him off of B.
Yeah, he's got to get him off of B indeed, but Azuries, he's going to be hanging out there. He got reinforcements coming as well. DBF noted they got a 4v2 advantage here in this situation. Crushmo, you're going to see he just puts out damage back rolls. Does not want to be in that one-shot range. And with them drawing attention towards ATM, the home hill does not come through, but they had their opponents and RR spread out exactly where they want them to. Now, can Nox just go big in this fight? He cannot. Toxiq cleans him up, and this is going to be a home hill capture for RR, and they stay in this round.
I mean, they're staying around. They're surviving, not thriving at this point. But the fact of the matter is, for DBF, it's not going to be as easy as just, wiping out a couple of members and getting in that domination. That's become very apparent. Great kill onto Azuries from Manikk. You were talking about and highlighting Azuries being that Nero, if you will. If you had to pick one for DBF, so good job for him to handle his business. Zenun also falls. Double R looking to get back into the saddle once again. For Nero, though, playing a bit of that, not secret man, but he's definitely about to take one off guard. Hits a nice shot around the corner, but can't get the finish. Throws out the stun to kind of help him, but he's got Manikk there. How far does he push up?
Yeah, he shouldn't push up too far whatsoever. They're going to figure out if they're going to get this win condition in a bit, and they most definitely will have it. 70 seconds left on the clock. They have a great setup on the top side of the map. Everybody's playing man-on-man. And at this point, RR is just like, all right, let's just wait for push to come. We're going to get them exactly what we want. Double flashes on Nero inside bandstand. Some focus went towards Manikk, but you're going to see DBF disengage right away. They're going to have to do this one without their flashes or focus their attention towards the top side of the map. And RR knows this. They're like, all right, these guys use both their flashes. We're in a better position than we was 5 seconds ago. Just bring out the Lancers. We're going to have to force these guys to rotate up top.
Toxiq and Rapidz, big hold here on the neutral. If they can lock this in place, it might be all but over with in this round. DBF, though, not going to go down without a fight. Rapidz now up close and personal, 1v2. Again, if he holds his own here, it's going to be huge. Zenun falls, and a second as well. And Blaze, I think that just locked in the round.
Mucho buena, Rapidz. He came out huge with that double kill. It was so clean, so beautiful. Now, you see the push coming out here for RR. Off the back of that quick double kill, they're going to be in the spawn of DBF, lock it in. There were the last heals to get the trip cap domination. Great job to them.
Yeah, great job indeed. Rapidz again holding his own, getting that clean 1v2 that all but solidified the round, because at that point it was just a long john for DBF to get over to the home hill. And once Rapidz wins that fight, gets to neutral, that gives the green light for Double R to push forward to the home hill of DBF, and it was pretty much all but over there. Azuries may be playing around with center line, but no, he's going to go ahead and match. So we got that up top fight. So you mentioned, well, we're going back down low. Let me just stop talking about theoreticals here. Okay, so we got the talent up top. Now I'm getting back to the original point plays.
That's the fun part about weapon placement, For the most part, for the most part, it's cut in stone, but we see some variations here and there. And it's nice to call it. Yeah.
But that's a cinema. And you mentioned if something gets placed up there, maybe they're setting up for that power weapon to be placed over in that location.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. DBF is going to spread out their weapon placements, but RR is putting most of their placements down low, okay? Because they know that eventually they want to play for bandstand if things get too crazy up top. But so far, they've been winning, Taylor. Hey, they got 2 rounds on the board. They've been pulling these away, and I think they get stronger here in the second half as well. DBF, they got to figure out how to flip this around. But as I said earlier, DBF's win trait here in this series is that they're going to evolve round by round and slowly adjust to what their opponent's throwing at them.
That's the thing. DBF has been playing really well. Despite them being down 2-0, their initials have been looking solid. They've had Double R at the brink of, possibly losing. It's been, Manikk popping off one time, Nero popping off. So Nero in first round, second round, it was, of course, Manikk keeping the game alive. So it's just kind of one of those things where, driven by fear, yeah, they're losing, but it's still been very close overall, despite Double R controlling the end game. So Double R will look to retake the Bravo hill. Azuries will fall, so that should open up the door. Player 8, though, is going to rotate down. That's Noxious, but he's going to get chunked by Nero. No worries at all. And again, initial goes well for DBF. They take a point lead, but here's Double R fighting back. And this is where they get scary. Where is DBF falling behind? Why is it all of a sudden mid and late game, the fact that Double R is able to take control?
Man, it's just a few key 1v1s, and in 4v4, as soon as you get numbers, you will feel that pressure. You will feel that extra Lancer from your opponent, that extra damage coming out. And, DBF just haven't been able to, they've been adjusting the best way in which they can. The score is close. No trip cap nominations have came through. So the adjustments are there, but it's going to come down to one clean 4v4 fight here as we get towards the later portion of this game. And RR has a nice setup, but you can either throw 2 people through juice here. You can send them down low towards the hill, but you're going to have to try to isolate some of these players. And you're going to need a better flash than that, Noxious.
Yeah, 100% right. Those flashes make a huge difference. But regardless, though, Zenun is there to help them. And they're going for that break, but into the blender they go. The Lancer fire is real. Zenun tries to get the pickup, but that's a huge loss. And Zenun will also fall himself. So never discredit how powerful the Lancer fire can be. But also don't discredit the Nasher. Azuries takes down Manikk. Rapidz falls as well. That evens up the odds. Now it's 2 members versus 2 members.
Anyone's
Neutral
game.
has been decapped, but Double R have the home hill.
Double R does have the home hill, but with 0 decapping, 9 in a 1v1 and a 2v1 down low, Toxiq wins the fight that he needs to. This is it. Even though the 1v1 was one at B, Toxiq fight, we'll all say that that was the winning 2v2 blow.
That's the second time he's done that tonight, man. That's the second time he's pulled off some crazy plays. Toxiq is on point tonight. We'll get to see it again. And this is just clean. That was just clean, Blaze.
Yeah, it was the blind fire for me. Right over the top. Grab shot back in.
Gosh.
And see, the thing is that Zenun can't even react to that because his teammate died so fast. He wanted to go play wide, but he was like, hold up. What? Wait, what happened?
Man, that was just a great play. So now the real question begins. Do we see a power weapon? And the possibility is there. You're losing 3-0. I guess we don't. So we got the retros. This might have been the time to change it up. But again, we also discussed how that kind of, in a way, is a trump card for Double R. So down 3-0, you place the power weapon down, you isolate the fight. Maybe that benefits Double R. And after all, you don't want to change up the initial because that's the only thing that's going well for DBF.
Yeah, and if you're winning, you don't put center line power weapons down unless you are trying to just set your opponent up for something late game and you knew that this was going to be a series that was going to go to distance. But Double R, man, it's a 3-0 for them. They're just going to continue to build up their secondaries. We saw them win that fight down low at Bandstand once again. We talked about how that was going to be a strong area of the map for them, and they're showing us just that. So, rotation up top to get this B hill back under their control. They got a flank coming in the back with Nero. They already have one down acquired. They're going to have no problem whatsoever getting a 2-to-1 hill setup, but DBF off respawn get their home hill back, so it's not over yet.
Over just yet. They'll continue to fight tooth and nail to stay alive. Definitely don't want to go down 4-0, but it looks like their time in round number 4 is drawing to an end. Crushmo falls. Now it's just a wolf pack as Double R looks to lock in the domination, and they will. Leading now 4-0, and things are definitely getting scary at this point. After all, this is DBF's map pick, a map that, you know, I thought would absolutely benefit the roster of DBF with how well they play on training grounds. I just thought it would, you know, or it should be foundation and training grounds after all. But just comes to show you, man, it doesn't matter. Double R is going to find a way to win.
Yeah, they definitely are. It didn't, you know, we thought wrong. DBF, once again, map number 1, they're down 0-4. But, well, they made this, is this where they make the comeback? Is this where they want to put a center line power weapon down to focus the fight either up top versus down low at Bandstand? Because the Bandstand fight gonna get a lot of action, all right? And DBF has lost that fight, I want to say, the last 2 rounds. We'll see what they do here.
Manikk, once again, he's been in that mid fight consistently, right? And, you know, it's kind of been back and forth. It really has been. And in this case, it looks like he might lose his life. I don't know. It's getting a bit weird. Rapidz, though, wraps around, takes down Azuries, and then isolates Zenun down in a 1v2, and he will drop. So Manikk, hey, he gets out of there alive, but it's really up to Rapidz. There's 4 members are down from DBF. Player 3 is already going to be on the home hill. And like you said, that's the round. Double R, flawless performance, 5-0 on DBF's map pick. It couldn't have got any better.
I couldn't get any better indeed. DBF got smoked, okay? They got smoked, and they should be very fearful of this RR team. So, true to the name, they're going to have to use that energy to try to come back here at map number 2, because we're going to Exhibit. That's a map in which you have to fight.
Sure.
We'll see if they could do that, because you can't run away from Nero and co.
If you looked at a snapshot, or if you just caught a glimpse of that scoreboard, I think the highest, what, six eliminations, something like that. But either way, nobody broke double digits. No one was able to get the 10. I don't even think anybody got the 9 eliminations for.
They look good in round number one for DBF.
Well, they look great. Well, they look good in the 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds, they look good. Remember, they were winning those initials. Like the initials was all them. You know, Double R was struggling off the initials, but it was that mid and late game once they got their legs underneath them. But to be truthful, you know, the 5-0 victory, I still give the victory to Double R regardless. But I definitely think those first 2 rounds, like DBF, they should have won those. I mean, let's not forget, they had them at the brink, right, of a domination 2 times in a row. First, it was Nero who popped off and was the savior in round 1. And then it was Manikk after that. I think it was Manikk and Rapidz. Nero then came in towards the end. So 2 times DBF had a domination in their hands and they let it slip. Bottom line, period. So they should have at least won those first 2 rounds.
The whole squad was collection up round after round.
That's right.
It was an entire highlight reel there. Give them a team ace for that entire map there. That's a 5-0 for them. So all got a piece of it. Now, exhibit. Okay, this is our map number 2. Yep. DBF, what are you gonna do to stop this aggression from RR? Because you guys just got completely slayed out there in map number 1. And it's not looking better for you. DBF is gonna, you know what? If I'm them in this situation, I'm not overthinking it. You don't overthink it. You're just gonna have to fight. And if you lose 10-0, so be it. But at least you say, you know what? We lost because we got outgunned. Okay, we got outgunned, and they were just a better team. You know, because sometimes you could try to do too much with strategy, and you could try to, you know, play too passive. You know, trying to hold these 2-to-1 heal setups and just play for time.
Sure.
But exhibit, you gotta fight, bro.
It's close quarter, man. You know, and not to mention, you also have that fight up top. Like, you know, that's either a 1v1 or a 2v2. We've been seeing power weapons get placed up top more commonly than before. Towards the tail end of before split 1 and even towards the tail end of split 1, we were seeing, you know, more power weapons get placed up top on exhibit, or excuse me, in before split 1, because exhibit was in rotation season. At the end of the season before split 1, we were seeing the power weapons get placed up top. Now we're seeing it much more regularly, and therefore there's much more fights taking place up top than before. And now my question is, who runs that? Honestly, I think Nero's probably going to be going up top more often than not, because he knows he can handle his business up top, whether it be a 1v1, 1v2, and then that opens up the doors for him to get behind enemy lines where he feels comfortable. Look at Asylum, for example, in that first series versus Chalky. He was always behind enemy lines. So it's going to be a tough win. To be honest with you, I think this is a 2-0. I don't think DBF wins this exhibit.
Of all the 1v1 positions on any map to be in, I think the up top one of the exhibit could be the worst one, because you have that long bridge in which you have to cross there in order to get towards your opponent's side of the map. You really kind of have an impact there. Now, you can find some Lancer angles on your side over the top of the bridge, just kind of shoot them down from several different angles. But Nero being a guy on your team who's slaying out multiple people, I would much rather him be down low in one of those lanes, because one of those lanes is going to get stacked with 2 players, and another one, because we're currently in 4v4, is going to get stacked with 1. So he can play that single lane there, but also be close enough to majority of the players of his opponent, so he can go from target to target. But if you put him up top, I think you don't get the most production out of Nero. So hopefully we don't see him there, but we'll see when the map kicks off.
Well, Nero and Rapidz, then, we already know they're going to be sticking together, right? They're just kind of the deadly duo. If Nero goes down, Rapidz is there to pick him up. And same thing, though, for the other duo on that roster, Manikk and Toxiq, right? And Toxiq has just been playing so nasty tonight, too. So it's going to be an exciting one to watch. Regardless, though, one thing is for certain, Double R, they're winning their fights, plain and simple. And on exhibit, that could prove to be pretty detrimental for DBF if they can't step it up, even with, you know, Azuries, Zenun, you know, Azuries, Romero, and Crushmo. But the thing is, I don't know how new this roster is. They probably haven't been, you know, playing long together anyway. So I expect them to get better week in and week out. This could be a sluggish week, but for Double R, they haven't slowed down. Solar being removed, Manikk being, you know, kind of the replacement. It looks to be all good to go. Chat, what do you think? Who's going to take it? You already saw a 5-0. Who's going to be able to take map number 2? I'm still going with Double R. That was my prediction all night, and it still is my prediction even now. But we'll definitely find out, man. But as we do wait to get it started, I think they're just getting everything good to go. Blaze, what's been your biggest takeaway for tonight, other than Double R playing so well?
Oh man, my biggest takeaway tonight, outside of Double R playing as well as they are, just thinking about it, you know. DBF, it was nice seeing, this team kind of come together. I thought they have a lot of great players here, and you give them some more time, they can be a great squad. But when it comes down to the Challenger Series, man, and I kind of said it in the beginning of the stream too as well, that with the Pro League going to 4v4, it's a lot of top players who are now in this Challenger Series. So we're going to see a lot of these teams, form up, some new ones, giving it the crack each and every week here. But I want to see some stacked squads come out of here. And so far, the competition has been great tonight. And I'm curious to see if we're going to get the same teams in the top 4 every week here in the semifinals, or are we just going to see different ones?
We'll definitely see the same ones, from time to time, but we will see those stragglers kind of come up. Remember, Double R was once a straggler team. They showed up during the week 3 of the Pro League qualifier, came out of absolutely nowhere, and just showed up, right? They were there in the last chance qualifier too, and I'm really happy that they, for the most part, stay together for these Challenger Series, because again, it's a roster that I hold very highly. For Immortals too to stay together as much as they have, I think it's pretty good. Some teams though that could come into the mix again is going to be those rosters like ALRM. ALRM is going to be a team that finished off in semifinals. I guarantee you we get a chance to cast over them in semifinals, grand finals, in the near future. They were just narrowly beat on the top side of that bracket, who I believe by Double R, if I'm not mistaken. Or so DBNF. So exactly. So that's the thing, man. These are going to be some consistent rosters. I expect ALRM to come through. But as far as like those consistent teams, man, you have Double R, you've got Immortals, you've got Driven by Fear, and then ALRM. Papa Chocolate Milk's going to be there. But those are going to be the rosters you see.
Yeah, no, and those are some good rosters, right? And I think it's some players out there who got first round and some that got lost in the top 8, but regardless of the Challenger Series, we'll deliver the season. We're going to have some great teams come out of that. But, folks, if you guys, been living under a rock, don't forget Pro League starts tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. You guys get to watch the best 12 teams out there fight it out here right on UMG Gaming here on Twitch, man. And it's going to be a fun one. Last season, we had 6 LATAM pro teams and we had 6 North American pro teams. But this time it's going to be 4 and 8 leaning towards NA. But the 4 LATAM teams that's in the league are going to be the best that's out there, okay? They can still have all 4 in the top 6 when it's split ends anyway. So got to watch out for those guys. It's going to be one that you don't want to miss out.
No joke, I could talk about the storylines in Pro League all day, and I'm going to have the chance to do it coming up soon, right? So with that being said, let's finish off tonight and see if DBF can come back, force a game 3. I don't think they can, but hey, they are an experienced bunch, and the possibility is absolutely there. Manikk, though, holding his... gets out-angled from the flank. Rapidz was there just a little bit too late. Now we see that 1v1 versus Crushmo. Rapidz, chunked in the end. Crushmo, beautiful kill. And they're finally going to be able to get their hands onto B. Big trade out over on the other side. Double R, once again, off the initial, kind of struggling a bit.
Yeah, kind of struggling indeed. You see DBF down low, locking down both these lanes, got their opponent pressed out. So 2-to-1 hill setup for them. And this is a map, this exhibit map, as we know, these hills are not going to be switching. So throughout the max of 9 rounds, these teams are just going to be making adjustments after adjustments towards the team fight, and we'll see who can make the better ones.
All right. Oh, on the overextension, though, you've got Manikk, who's already there. Took that top side. Rapidz is going to be alongside him. Big fight, though. Oh, watch your flank. There's going to be Azuries back there who has an angle to maybe take them down. They're going to go at a 2v1 of though. Great teamwork overall. Azuries falls. Manikk gets to pick up on the Rapidz. Now trying to get that cut on the Crushmos. He gets it. Crushmo falls, and they are living rent-free. Well, not rent-free. They're paying a little bit, but not too much. And Double R luck in the double home hill setup.
Yeah, so they good job to Double R. They won a 2v2 on top of the home hill, but on the flip end, DBF won a 2v2 towards their opponent's side of the map. Now, both home hills are capped up in favor of RR, but when you're in this situation, you just have the neutral at B. You can't panic. You can't run back to spawn and give up the control that you have down low. You just gotta wait for your teammates to come off respawn and get your home hill back that way. And we saw Zenun and Azuries down low. Not Zenun and Azuries, but I think it was Zenun and Nox. Just have great composure here and buying their teammates some time to get set up.
Toxiq doing what he needs to do, locking in B. Now, for Double R, they know they're in a tough situation. Cog has that win condition, so getting onto A is going to be the cherry on top, or really what Double R needs in order to shift the momentum back in their favor. But player 3 has snuck through enemy lines. That's Crushmo, and Manikk is going to be there to try and force that 1v1. But meanwhile, you have the 2v2, and if this fight isn't won by Double R, it's pretty much all but done with for this round. And Azuries will take down Rapidz. Zenun now will focus his attention onto Toxiq, and the Cog team still wins in 25 seconds. And as we see Crushmo fall, or excuse me, Toxiq fall, it's all but over. DBF will hold on.
Yeah, they will indeed, and they may be getting this B hill as well to secure this one. Zenun gets taken out, but in the end, it's not going to matter. You see 3 players fortifying around the A hill. Lancer's out. 6 seconds needed. Round number 1 going by DBF, and so better start. They finally get one, you know, because map number 1 was a quick 5-0.
Yeah,
Nero demoralized them there in that first round with 6 kills, and in the map before he got 5 to kick this one off.
Yeah.
Now he's just held to 1.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if he'll step it up. Manikk holding his own though with 5, but good start for DBF. After all, it's not 6-0. Now it's 5-1 technically in total overall round count. But it is encouraging to know because this map doesn't really change, right, from first half to second half. So if they can continue this pressure, they'll look pretty solid. I will say though, for Double R, they were making a great attempt to try and go for those OEs. They were locking up that top side. I was really impressed. I believe it was Manikk and Rapidz who were on that OE, so good job on their part for doing so. See if Manikk continue to pop off as well as he is. But Zenun also played well too. 5 and 3 deaths. We'll keep our eye out for him and see how this second round works.
Eyes on target.
Both targets get placed. That's going to be nice. That's going to be nice for both squads. Gives your team some headshot potential. Better if you can focus fire with your teammates. Pick one target, get some initial Lancer damage, and then get that Boltok headshot, make a play for your squad. But you always want to build those placements first on exhibit. That way you can get your nade to the fight as soon as possible, because that's going to be the closest weapon spawn location and really influence this down low fight.
Bit of a missed utility. Nox, though, will get stunned up a little bit, but Crushmo has his in his back pocket, so that's going to push Rapidz back along with his teammate as they were wanting to push up. The overextension is there, though. You have that 1v1 now taking place between Nero and player 4, Azuries, so you have two powerhouses going at it, but in the end, it will be Nero who takes over that win, and he's going to go in and dip out. He doesn't want to lock in A as of yet. Interesting. I thought he for sure was going to stick it, but doesn't seem this is the time to do so, and I'm curious, what is he thinking about doing in this moment? Is it the challenge these two players? Well, it's not even working. Crushmo and Nox are having their way with Double R.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to cap your home hill, but just because you need to get to the fight, you need to help your teammates out, be that extra guy in that mix so that you guys can get that neutral hill, and the latest player that died can come off respawn and cap your home hill. So Nero just wanted to be where his team needed him the most in that moment, and that was right down here in the pit, in the mix, as him and his squad is going to work together. They were able to take out Azuries, but Crushmo comes back. Him and Zenun, they'll be able to take out two of their own. 3 down here for the side of RR. And DBF looking a lot better here in map number 2.
Oh, 100%. This is like night and day, so well done from them. Still, Double R continues to keep it close. Even in that last round, they were able to keep it close till the very end. But for DBF, they're showing a lot of promise, whether it be the initials or holding on in mid-game, as we've seen not only in the first round, but now here in the second round. It's looking a lot better and gives me hope that they might be able to put up a fighting chance here. For Toxiq, though, he is going to lock in the neutral, and pretty much uncontested Azuries is on the other side, but you can't really challenge that as of yet. So these next series of kills are going to be hugely critical, because Double R can either push through all the way to the home hill DBF, or DBF can then retake control. But it looks like Double R's making a break for it.
They are making a break, and you see another rotation down low where multiple members of DBF are getting kills. This is a big 2v2 fight for both teams, and you're going to see DBF come out on top. Also, they were able to get a 3rd kill for one of the players that overextended towards their spawn. So beautiful position in which they're in. 2 heals to their name. They have the win condition in the late game, and 2 players still coming off respawn for RR. DBF, they just need to keep staggering these deaths to their opponent, and that's a big kill for Crushmo. Has some Lancer over the top. I'm going to slow down Rapidz here. Can he hop over and get to B in time? It won't even matter because DBF put it on the pressure.
Yeah, great work from them. Another close round, but the end result is the same. 2-0 lead now for DBF as we continually see maybe Double R struggling a little bit, and that Slay heavy team that we just witnessed on District, not so much here on Exhibit, which you would think it would be accentuated given the fact that you have those closer angles to fight at, but we're not seeing those key plays, those key slays. So good job, man, from DBF, and that experience really showing Blaze coming out on a map that they're familiar with.
Yeah, and Exhibit is one of the simpler maps in which we have in our competitive map cycle. And that simplicity is really working out for DBF because they have a great foundation and they're great Gears players overall. So, with that, years of Gears experience there and on a simple map like this, they're finding their advantages and they know that they just got to fight and they got to hit these shots at the end of the day. And that's what they're doing.
All right, round number 3. Is this going to be the round that Double R takes, or will Driven by Fear continue to play as well as they are? Rapidz, though, is going to get Lancered out, and another early loss for Double R as Crushmo will take the neutral. Toxiq, all he can do is just look on helplessly as Driven by Fear looks to lock in all lanes, and they're doing such a good job at doing so. That retro for Crushmo is going to be hugely beneficial for stopping any member from Double R who tries to push in on the neutral. For Azuries, though, it's kind of in no man's land up top, but his presence alone has to make Double R think twice about pushing up.
Yeah, he's going to be keeping Rapidz in check, having to keep his attention on a 1v1 so his teammates know that they got a clean 3v3. And when you get a big down like that, what the remaining 2 players are is just straight focus. Bring out the Lancers, be there for your teammate for the revive, lock in the round. And Azuries, he gets aggressive here. He wins his 1v1. Now Manikk is left. The heal's already capped. He's just going to gatekeep it. Heal will be capped soon.
Very soon, Nero. Now, hey, look, all the heroics Nero's been doing, you're not going to be able to do a lot versus a 1v4, right? So at this point in time, Double R, last member should be taken down. There he goes, and that's going to be a domination. This has been the most decisive round so far that we've had as of yet, as Double R has been, able to push it to the limit, if you will, but 3-0 lead for the boys of DBF, and they only continue to improve round in and round out. And for Toxiq, by the way, I want to point out, he started that last round at 0-6, and he finished that last round at 0-6.
I thought you was about to say he's 6-6, but I was like, hold up. He just lost a round. No way he's 6-6 at this point.
0-6. Didn't get anything, but more deaths.
Yeah, he's going to have to step it up here in this round. He's going to be down low in that fight, in that big 3v3 fight. For control at B. His Lancer is playing a factor there for Nero and Manikk, but those kills gonna have to come through at the end of the day. Let's see what happens here. You on board with Noxious. Gonna be watching this right-hand side of the map. Gonna pepper up both those players for his teammate. It's just gonna back up here. Zenun gets caught out. They're gonna have to save him.
Well, they're trying to, but is it going to work out? Zenun does fall, so well done. Nero actually got a little bit trigger happy there, almost turns on Rapidz and takes him down. But Crushmo just trying to break free onto A. 1v1 though between Azuries and it looks like Manikk, as Manikk will win that. So much better start for Double R, probably the strongest start we've seen as of yet, but it's going to be hard for Nero and Manikk to hold this position. They are so far into the spawn of DBF that it's going to be tough. But Toxiq does take down Crushmo. Double R, despite that start, don't really have too much of a crazy lead, but I don't know. Are they going to lose it? Nox just mows down Nero.
Crushmo overextended and he held off a 1v2 for a very long time. And his teammates knew that they had a 3v2 on the opposite end of the map. They did a great job getting back their home hill, cleaning up the kills, and now they're pushing out these lanes down low, making sure that they can get a great setup here on top of this B hill.
All right, Toxiq, big fight now versus Zenun. Hits a final shot, but it's not going to be enough as he'll get the go-ahead to push through. Looking scary now for Double R. They might be at a 4-0 deficit. Totally flipping the script on this series. Manikk falls, and this should be another DBF round. And Blaze, I'm kind of at a loss for words here. Again, I thought they would be so strong, but Rapidz pulls up big, takes out a couple, but is it going to be enough? Who else is there? Toxiq trying to pick up a huge 1v2. Not going to happen. Nero now throws his hat in the ring, around the corner, facing a meat shield. He breaks it, pushes in, but it's not enough to get that touch, and we got a 4-0, Blaze.
Ooh, what a response here from DBF, man. And we were counting them out on this map too. We were saying that, you know, based off of the team comp of RR and how they got that quick 5-0 on district map number 1, which was DBF's map pick, we just thought that they were going to come out here on exhibit and just run the floor, mop them up. But DBF, man, driven by fear after that 5-0, they come back. 4-0 victories, 4-0 start so far, but one round away from the victory.
And I don't have to shout it out, but I'm going to, because we do great work over here at UMG. YouTube.com/UMG Gears. It's where we're going to be sending all our VODs to. Listen, go check it out, especially if you want to compete, if you want to be a competitor, or just you're a fan of Gears in general. It's a great VOD channel to go and check out. You'll be able to see anything from the majors to the Challenger Series to E-Days to anything that we do. So I implore you to go and sub if you can. But hey, here we are, potential final round. And at this point in time, Double R, just like I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing from before. If Double R was leading, Driven by Fear, they're not going to win this. But Driven by Fear, hey, they're going to win this. I don't see Double R making this comeback.
Yeah, I don't see them getting 5 rounds in a row. And then we get to get our wish and see how both these squads are going to play on training grounds. We already got a chance to watch them both play that map in the semifinals. So it's going to be nice to see them go against each other if we do get that map number 3, which is what it's looking like currently at this point. Azuries wins his 1v1 and he's heading straight to the home hill.
Oh yeah, and he's got a lot of firepower too, doesn't he? So he's going to be on to F, and he's just going to, he gets better and better. Now he's got the hammer burst, and we've seen what he can do with the hammer burst on Foundation in the earlier series versus Papa Chalky Milk. That being said, Manikk, though, he's going to be able to get the home hill. But again, you know, DBF, they've got the point lead. They had a solid start. They've got more power weapons to their name. I think they can do this.
No, I think they definitely can do it as well. Nice down for Toxiq, but he had to kind of leave his 1v1, disengage from his 1v1 a bit there. Allows Zenun to push him. E-Hill, D-Hill locked in for DBF. Azuries back on his home hill, applying pressure there to Manikk. Gonna get a decap and get this meat shield. Just at this point, he's just waiting for his teammates to come through, calling for reinforcements.
Yeah, and any amount of time that he wastes, even if they don't get this domination, they continue to acquire a lead, right? So unless Toxiq can pull off some huge plays here, they might not be able to get out of it, but Azuries is going to pressure up too. Noxious is also there, but I think Double R is going to back them up. And again, because they wasted so much time, that lead grew to about 70 or so points. So Double R in very, very dire straits. It's just going to be hard to come back from. Driven by Fear is looking at a 5-0.
Now, DBF is waiting for Azuries to come off respawn. They allowed their opponents to have this E-Hill. They didn't want to waste any extra lives here in this moment. You know, even though it's unlimited respawns, you don't want to give up position if you don't have to. Just give your opponent that extra time with that decap, wait for the whole team to come back, and then you will have a better chance at pressing them if you don't give up full map control waiting for those respawns to come through. And we see an awesome retake there by DBF. Now to get to double back and get their home hill, but you see the enforcer on the map. Toxiq being toxic with that weapon here, but not enough to take down Crushmo just yet.
Not just yet. So no matter how powerful that weapon is, sometimes it comes down to your Nasher, and well, Toxic's going to be outnumbered, and he is gone. Driven by Fear knows, hey, we got the neutral. Let's rotate back and defend our home hill, and that might come to the win condition. As Double R knows, look, we got to hightail it straight to D. We got to get a decap at this point. So if Driven by Fear takes down any member like they just did onto Manikk, hey, Double R could be out of luck. But hey, they're making a good attempt, Blaze. They're pushing in.
Yeah, they're pushing in indeed. Oh, looking good. Oh, nice kill there. 10 seconds remaining. No one is going to be in position to break this 4-man DBF wall here on top of the home hill, folks. We're going to a map number 3.
I can't believe we just went from a 5-0 beatdown and an absolute beatdown that Double R put on DBF to another beatdown, but the shoe's on the other foot now for DBF onto Double R. Amazing stuff. We're going to game 3. We'll be right back after this.